What's this? What is this music? What is this music? I have no idea. Good morning, everybody. It is a lovely morning on the Morning Night Live, and I am happy to be here on this Tuesday, often known as Twitter Tuesday, and I hope you are having a wonderful morning like I am. I am having a wonderful morning. I will say it over and over again. My morning is wonderful. It is a wonderful morning. So I hope you too are having a wonderful morning, and I will continue to have my wonderful morning with this lovely music that I'm playing on the Morning Night Live. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about that woman again. Just because it's Twitter Tuesday and it's everything on my Twitter feed. Well, it's not everything on my Twitter feed, but there's more than that. So I'm just going to go to, I'm going to talk about it. Because after I talked to y'all yesterday, there was more developments. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? I don't get it. This woman is stupid. She doesn't understand that the more she fights it, and the more that Twitter helps her fight it, the more people are going to talk about it, because it's just not correct the way she's handling this. Her publicist needs to be fired. Everyone around her needs to be fired. She needs to tell the people at Twitter to go to hell. They're just making it worse. But she's stupid. And I am going to laugh about it today and try to put in a couple other news items, because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. But I can't stop talking about this. I'm missing a whole lot of very important news for this stuff, but you know what? I gotta tell you, she is stupid. And you're just making it worse. You could have salvaged this on day one by just saying, oh yeah, that's me. That's me. Yes, I've done other things besides being trafficked. But no, she had to make it worse. And I'm going to make fun of her for it. Good morning. Welcome to the show. I hope you all have a lovely day. And I'll see you in a minute. Play the damn intro. Now!
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
No, not all of my opinions are wrong, but mostly. At least the kind that can get you removed from, temporarily at least, from Twitter or YouTube or whatever. So anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. And welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel on this Tuesday, the 31st of January, 2023. Yes, it's the last day of the month. When you wake up to tomorrow morning, what the hell's going on here? What is that? What is that? That's not my face. There you go. When you wake up in the morning, remember to say the words rabbit, rabbit. My drama teacher back in high school. Yes, I had a drama teacher because I was in theater a little bit. Besides, I was a Renaissance man. I did everything. I was in theater, I was in music, I was in sports. I was in academics. I did speeches and I did all kinds of stuff in high school. But one of the things I did was theater. My drama teacher used to always say, oh yeah, in the first of the month, the first thing you say is rabbit, rabbit, and it'll give you good luck. I think it's crazy. And so I always forget to do it. But anyway, so it is Twitter Tuesday and my Twitter feed has been, well, not just my Twitter feed, just the people I interact with a lot on the platform are talking about this crazy woman again, Eliza Blue, who is, look, if there's anything that she's done well over the last 2 to 3 years besides promote herself, not rabbit, rabbit, like rabbit, say rabbit twice, not rabbit. A rabbit would be a problem, okay? Because, by the way, speaking of rabbits, so my Lady Boomer and I are watching television last night, and we let the dog out, and the dog was out for a little longer than normal, right? This was the other night. Dog was out for a little. Clifford, who, by the way, Clifford had a little episode that we had a scare, but he seems fine. But anyway, this is the other night, and he all of a sudden we are watching TV, and I look. We have a sliding glass door in our family room where we watch TV. So he goes out the sliding glass door. He goes out in the yard, and there's a bunch of snow in the yard. And he's running around in the snow and whatever. And then when he comes back, when he wants to come in, sometimes he'll come back and just sit on the step, going outside the sliding glass door, and he'll just sit there. And when he wants to come in, he'll turn and he'll put his paw and he will scratch the glass one time or tap the glass one time and wait for us to open the door. And so we let him out, and he was out there for a while, and he's out there a little longer than normal, but no big deal. Sometimes he runs around, and sometimes the neighbor's dog is out and they run along the fence with each other or whatnot. But I look up and he tapped the glass. And so I get up to go let him in, and I look and I'm like, what do you have in your mouth? What do you have in your mouth? And he had not just a rabbit's foot, but an entire rabbit's leg, but with no rabbit attached to it. He had a rabbit. He had the leg like of a rabbit in his mouth, just looking at me, and I'm like, what the hell is that? So I go grab a paper towel, and he's not eating. He just has it in his mouth, looking at me like, oh, look, I brought you something. And so I go grab a paper towel, and I open the door, and he's got blood on his face, and he's got his rabbit leg in his mouth. And so I take the paper towel, and I take the rabbit, and I go out and throw it in the garbage. And I let him in and I wipe his face off. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. He has an entire rabbit's leg in his mouth. And I'm like, where is the rest of the rabbit? And, and then he needed to go out to pee one more time that night. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to do this tonight because it's too freaking cold and there's too much snow on the ground, whatever. And so I let him out, and I saw him going to where he went. And I'm like, hey, get back here. So he looks at me and is like, oh, but there's something here. And I'm looking at it, and I can kind of see there's something on the ground, and he's going to go for it again. I'm like, no, inside. So he comes back inside. He's a very well disciplined dog. And so I said, okay, I'm not going to deal with this till tomorrow. I'm not going to deal with this tomorrow. So I get up the next morning, and I get up and I go, oh my gosh, I go out to where he'd stopped the night before, where I let him out and he stopped at this thing, and there's nothing but a fuzz ball, okay? And I'm like, oh crap, did he eat the rabbit? Where's the rest of the rabbit? But no, it was just the tail. And then I'm like, oh, okay, we'll clean that up. And because I didn't want to let him out again, I didn't want to come out there and eat the rest of the rabbit. But I take a glance over on the other side of the other side of the yard, and I see I see blood, and I walk over there, and it looked like a freaking crime scene. It looked like Silence of the Lambs left on the snow. There's just blood and rabbit pieces everywhere. But the entire rabbit was there. The rabbit was like in half, with one leg over here, and half the head and body here, and the other half of the body here, and there's entrails over there. He didn't eat any of it. He just played with it and brought me a trophy. I'm like, oh my God. So I cleaned up the crime scene and got rid of it, and then I let him out again, and he runs over there and he's like looking around like he wanted to play with it some more. And then I go back and I look out the window, and then I see him. He has something else in his mouth. Oh no, he has another part of the rabbit. And I'm like, ew, no, put that down. And he puts it down and he comes in. So I went back out, and it was just some of the leftover entrails. Oh, it was just gross. I'm just like, it was a frick. It looked like something out of The Godfather where they destroyed somebody. Anyway, so yeah, it was. So anyway, rabbit, AD, rabbit. But yeah, because I'm sure that apparently that rabbit did not say rabbit at the beginning of the prior month. Anyway, That's not what I'm here for, but it's a cute story, you know? And so anyway, hey, how are you all doing? I hope you're having a wonderful week. Let's say good morning, everybody, and get into what I normally do on this show instead of talking about rabbit parts. So let's see. 80? No, not rabbit. 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 Got it? Don't you do it again. Anyway, let's say good morning, everybody. First over on Rumble, first person in the chat. Looks like, oh, wait, what's going on over here? It's not even giving me a number. Usually it gives me a number, how many people are over on Rumble, but I see that there's a few. Good morning. First in the chat is Avocados Diabli. Give us a bell. Whoa, not that one, this one. There we go. And then also Mike Savage, Blarg, and Jimmy Das Hotep is over on Rumble. On YouTube, first in the chat was also Avocados Diabli, who gets the bell. Good morning, also Rotten Corpse, Simon Wolfwood, Maddie's in the house. Also, my favorite Canadian Jaeger ponies here, Tyrannis, Alexandria's Tremere Lich, Tyre Alexander. Yes, Indian music. It was Indian music, or not Indian, Middle Eastern music. Yes, so we're doing the Middle Eastern thing. I leave this on during the intros. How's that sound? So can y'all hear that? I don't know if this sounds good. Anyway, also good morning to Mike Savage, Blarg, Aaron Meredith's in the house. Let's see. Oh, I got to scroll a little bit. Attack Alpacas here. Good morning. Also, HP Lovecraft, Kevin S. Let's see. Lord Stanhope's in the house. Unacceptable Views is here. TC's in the house. Welcome. Good morning also to Gulf City DCC 182, aka Blink for our purposes in this house. Good morning, Plague Dr. Zach Osborne. Hello. Nomad's in the house.
Hammer time.
Also, good morning to, is there anyone else here? Why Are You So Angry is in the house. Try to take care of that. And Spud Gun's here. Rick Ashbringer's here. And Special K on Acid. Whoa, it's been a while. Good morning. Nice to have you back. So let's okay, enough of this music. And that dude O2, aka that dude. I'm just gonna say that dude. Hello, dude. What's up, dude? Nice to have you here. All right, shall we dance? 1, 2, 3, and so before I talk about this stupid woman, and I hate to call her stupid, but I don't know. She got somebody at Twitter all tied up or something, or she's because she's doing some dumb shit. Anyway, let's start with stuff that's not about her though. And I was good God. I'm going to put, okay, this one I'm not going to say, but I'm going to ask you, and I'll remind you at the end of the show. There is one headline that I'm going to put in the links today that, from the Daily Mail, that you have to see. That's all I'm going to say. Now, when I say they're going to be in the links today, on the Daily, every show, at the end of the show, during the outro, I put all the links to everything that we talk about on the show. So if there's tweets or videos or news articles, whatever, it all goes into a one-tab link. Okay, it's called One Tab. It's in the second paragraph. I add it during the outro so that if you guys are watching it and if you make videos or if you do blogs or if you whatever, you just want to see what the hell I was talking about, want to read the rest of the article, those articles will all be available in a single tab. You click the link, one page, everything's on one page, and you can find it all. Well, let's put it this way. Maybe I should put this on the screen. No, I'm not gonna put it on the screen now because this is too early in the show. Anyway, let's just say that in Somalia, the concept of justice sometimes takes on a little more impactful resolution, okay? And let's just say that two men did something to a young child that was not, let's just say, well, not kosher. That's not a good phrase. It just wasn't right. It was very wrong. In fact, probably the wrongest thing that you could do to a young female child. Two men got caught doing it, and well, the resolution is that they were publicly executed by a firing squad chosen by the girl's father, who got to inspect the bodies to make sure they were dead. That is quite the resolution to this very awful incident that these two men put this young girl through. So I'm not putting it on the screen, but you can look at it, and maybe you'll find the article later. That's interesting. But let's see. In fact, I better skip that so I don't actually put it on the screen. And the only reason I'm not putting it because it's the verbiage is not YouTube friendly. So I'm not going to put it on the screen. All right, let's move on. Now, a couple things trending on Twitter, and then we'll get into it. The Colorado River is trending on Twitter. Now, I don't know why today all these different outlets decided to talk about the Colorado River. The Colorado River, apparently, there's a water problem. There's been issues there, and so if this keeps up for another 400 days, there won't be any need to fight over Colorado River water. And I don't know what this is. Oh, there's water running through the streets of Arizona here. Well, I don't know what that is, but a lot of people are talking about today is the deadline for states that use the Colorado River to come to an agreement on cutbacks. They missed the deadline. Today I was on NBC News talking about how Wall Street will benefit when water gets scarce. So there's a CBS article regarding this, and LA Times has an article. Everyone's talking about the Colorado River today because so here it is. 6 of the 7 states that rely on the Colorado River gave the federal government a last-minute proposal outlining possible water cuts, presenting a unified front while leaving out California, which uses the largest share of the river. California has so many problems with with their own water, which they've all the billions of dollars they spend on like that stupid rail line between LA and San Francisco, which is just a boondoggle. They could have made 10 water desalination plants, but they refuse to do it. And so they rely on the Colorado River instead. Good morning, AWOL. Good morning, Renee Mayette. I see you in the chat. So there's a couple articles, one in the LA Times, which I'll open there, and there's one in the let's do the AP article, though. This is kind of explains why this is such a big deal. In the West, pressure to here, let's make it more visible there. That should be better. In the West, pressure to count water lost to evaporation. Exposed to the beating sun and hot, dry air, more than 10% of the water carried by the Colorado River evaporates, leaks, or spills as the 1,450-mile powerhouse of the West flows through the region's dams, reservoirs, and open-air canals. For decades, key stewards of the river have ignored the massive water loss, instead allocating Arizona, California, Nevada, and Mexico their share of the river without subtracting what's evaporated. But the 10% can no longer be ignored. Hydrologists, state officials, and other Western water experts say the West's multi-decade drought has set water levels into key reservoirs along the river to unprecedented lows. Officials from Nevada and Arizona say that together with California, they now need to account for how much water is actually in the river. The challenge is finding a method that California will agree to. Good morning, Paul, also. I see you there. It's very hard to get consensus, said Sarah Porter, director of the Kyle Center for Water Policy at Arizona State University. She thinks it unlikely that states will reach an agreement on their own without federal intervention. Unlike Arizona, California, Nevada, and Mexico, the upriver or upper basin states, Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming, have already taken into account evaporation losses. So basically, they're hurting the other states that can't seem to figure it out, aren't figuring it out. Look, California is the problem. California is always the problem, don't you think? Yes, AD, California could desalinate ocean water to be in the black. Exactly. but they've always refused to do it. That's been an issue for even before this crisis or so-called crisis of the Colorado River. That's always been an issue in California. Well, damn. Oh, TC, I see what you did there. Anyway, now with the looming federal deadline, which has already come and gone, for the Colorado River Basin states to say how they'll use at least 15% less water from the river, there's a renewed urgency for California, Arizona, and Nevada to factor in what's lost to evaporation. One proposal comes from Nevada. Nevada states at the end of the river could see their Colorado portion shrink based on the distance it travels to reach users. The further south the river travels, the more water is lost as temperatures rise and water is exposed to the elements longer. Southern Nevada Water Authority estimates that roughly 1.5 million acre-feet of water are lost to evaporation, transportation, and inefficiencies each year in Arizona, Nevada, and California. That's 50% more than Utah uses in a whole year. Nevada and Arizona could be on board with this plan. Nevada stands to lose at least the least under this plan since Lake Mead, the man-made reservoir from which Arizona, Nevada, California, and Mexico draw water, sits in its backyard. Look, it's California that's part of the problem, is the problem in this plan. TZ's over on Rumble, too. Good to see you. The challenge is finding a method that California also agrees to. It's very hard to get a consensus. We already said that. California water managers have said evaporation and system losses should be accounted for based on this existing system. In a December letter to federal officials, Christopher Harris, executive director of the Colorado River Board of California, said any other approach could face considerable legal and technical challenges. Well, look, again, why California has refused. Well, here's the problem. California is messed up anyway. Their whole energy policy is messed up. Their whole water policy is messed up. The whole state's messed up, and that's why so many people are leaving. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up. There's also several other articles on this. CBS News has one. Let's see. That's the LA Times. Let's see. Oh my gosh, they got several articles on this over the last few days. I'll drop you I'll have the CNN article and the CBS News article in the tabs. I'm not going to go through them, but New York Times too. Everyone's talking about this because it's really bad, mostly for California. And anything that's bad for California, well, everyone else in the country has to suffer for it. So anyway, that's why that is trending. Now, moving on. Also trending is Memphis, obviously, due to the situation with the 5 officers who. The Tyre Nichols passed away after these officers beat the shit out of him. And so lots of people are talking about it. Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida. Eric and I joined the nation praying for comfort and peace for the family of Tyre in the city of Memphis. It's time for the legal system to conduct swift and appropriate justice for our nation and unite for a better tomorrow. And he has a statement here. I'm always curious, though. So Byron Donalds is a Republican from Florida. Let's see if any people are charitable in their responses to Congressman Byron Donalds. So let's take a look, because it's Twitter Tuesday. We do that kind of thing. There's nothing there, just 5 black police officers who screwed up. You even said it on TV, it's a local issue. The more attention given to this local issue, the harder it will be to hire black police officers, which I thought is what everyone wanted. Possibly. Okay. Are you a member of the Black Caucus? No, he's not. They won't let him in the Black Caucus. They don't, even though he's a black man, they will not let Byron Donalds in the Black Caucus. I don't think he's asked to be in it, but I know, or maybe he did. I can't remember. Anyway, it's time for some police reform legislation and investigations. GOP seems to have plenty of time for investigations. Look, police reform is not a national issue. It's a local issue. And look, this situation, well, I got a couple articles about that. We'll get to it later. I'll talk about some of the things that people are saying. It make me scratch my head, but other things that people are saying make me go, why haven't they done that? We'll get to that later. I'll come back to it. But anyway, Memphis is trending because of that situation. And let's see. Here's Zuby, the death of Tyre Nichols at the hands of Memphis police was heartbreaking and demonstrated reckless disregard for human life. But it was not the result of racism or white supremacy. The conversation between Irmar and Aiton and Piers Morgan's and yours truly. Watch till the end. Well, I do recommend watching this. I'll leave that as a separate link. So let's put that out there so you can watch that one. It's about 9 minutes long. I don't want to go into it too deep because I got other things to talk about. Donald Trump even said, I thought it was terrible. He was in such trouble. He was just being pummeled. Now that should never happen. Look, everyone is on this. Look, one thing about this whole situation, do you hear anybody out there other than the idea that Tyre Nichols probably shouldn't have run from the police and, that the initial resisting and then running from the police, never a good idea. But do you hear anyone on the internet saying, oh, they didn't do anything wrong? Even Officer Tatum. Even Officer Tatum said, oh, this is crazy. That's not something they should have done. Now, his video this morning about this, he did go on about the part, maybe don't fight with police, don't run police. A lot of the stuff the fact that we watch these incidents over and over and there's protests about them. And what I think it exacerbates the problem. It causes more people to be afraid of the police and not do the right things and not, listen to what they say. But there's no reason that those officers should have did what they did the way they did it. Okay? Just like with George Floyd, which I think it's a manslaughter incident. I think 2 of the charges probably should have been not guilty and the third charge should have been guilty. The purpose of your investigation or whatever, anytime you stop somebody, is to get either compliance with the law or some kind of justice, and you can't get any kind of justice if the man that you're trying to get justice is dead. Even in situations where you have a hostage situation, you want to get them to the court system. You don't necessarily want to kill them. Now, sometimes it's justified to injure or kill a suspect, depending on the actions of that suspect. But that certainly wasn't the case in this one. There was no reason to the craziness of this beatdown that he got. Andrew Bronca, Law Self-Defense, is getting hella shit for breaking it down to probably just let them arrest you and deal with the legality later. Well, and it's better than running. It's better than having an initial scuffle and running. Don't have the initial scuffle. I hate, look, a lot of like, oh, we'll just comply with what they're saying. And I understand that if you do not believe that you are in trouble, if you've done anything wrong, why would you want to comply, right? Or then someone will bring up, well, Ashley Babbitt, she died because she didn't comply. No, she died because there was an excessive use of force that nobody wants to talk about. But was she breaking a law? Yes. And it is a possibility if you're in a situation like that you are going to get shot. Okay? But this guy, again, he ran. There was an initial scuffle, and he ran. Then they beat the shit out of him. Now, the beat the shit out of him part was the wrong part. Did he contribute to it somewhat? Yeah, kind of. But not contributed so much that they should have kept putting him back up and beating him more, trying to knock his ass out. So, anyway, that's why Memphis is trending, because everyone's going to be talking about that for days. Here's Tim Scott. Let's see what Tim Scott says.
People, Republicans, Democrats, independents, non-affiliates, black folks, white folks, rich folks, poor folks, Southerners, Northerners, the West Coast, and the East Coast are sick and tired of politics as usual. We as a nation deserve better. We should be able to build a coalition around the common ground of, yes, we need more training on de-escalation. Yes, we need more resources and training on the duty to intervene. Yes, we need more grants. And yes, we need the best wearing the badge. We should have simple legislation that we can agree upon, that has been agreed upon in the past. But too often, too many are too concerned with who gets the credit.
Ding. Ding. Agreed. All right. Good point, Tim Scott. Oh, Ben Crump and his crew got what they needed. They desperately needed a white devil for the Tyre Nichols story. It was not going how they wanted. Memphis fired a white officer for properly tasing a man because he said the words in the heat of action. I hope they stomp his ass. Okay, this is a whole different situation. Here's a view of a different Memphis police officer violently punching and smashing a black man's face into the ground during arrest. So they found another one.
Mr. President.
They got their they got their race one because this was a white officer or white-ish. I don't know if he's wish. Now this is a guy. But look, again, why do they do that if he's not? Well, who knows what he's doing? Memphis has got a problem. And the funny thing about it, and I wouldn't say it's funny, but the interesting thing about it is the police chief at Memphis, she needs to be fired. I'm just saying. Because they, like, remember they said they were disbanding some Scorpion squad, some special squad that was meant to handle violent situations, whatever. First of all, how did they train? Memphis is running out of police. That is the problem, too. We'll get to that. Okay, I'm going to come back to this because I have a couple articles, but I really want to talk about what I want to talk about. Also, let's see what else I got here. Also trending, Bob Woodward is trending. Bob Woodward, the famous Woodward and Burns, Nixon takedown, whatever, and writing books about the last president with the funny hair. He's trending because Donald Trump apparently has a lawsuit against Woodward and Bob Woodward. Let's see. Trump agreed to over 12 long recorded interviews with a reporter while the president. They were conducted in the White House and his Florida Golf Club, and he is whining that they were released. Amazing. Okay, he's mad. Okay, here it is. This is why Woodward is trending, because Donald Trump's involved. Former President Donald Trump is suing journalist Bob Woodward for $50 million in damages, accusing him of releasing audio recordings of the interviews without his consent. Bob Woodward's reply, since Donald Trump is suing me, I will reveal something I've never revealed before about a public figure. The scent barrier... Okay, this is not real. That's fake. That's a fake. He did have... where's the tweet that he put out? I'm afraid to scroll. This is the one. I'd like to propose a deal to President Trump. I will give him the $40 million he is suing me for if he uses the money to pay for the funeral costs of 1 million Americans who died because of his negligence. Now that is bullshit. Okay, that's just straight bullshit. I'm sure he's talking about COVID or some shit. No, those Americans didn't die because of anyone's negligence. If anyone's negligence they died because of is because of
China is asshole.
Yes, another country that whatever. So anyway, clearly some of those tweets are fake though. They gotta be. Let me see. Let me go back here. Let's find Bob Woodward. Oh, you know what? I bet that tweet was fake too, because somebody is. Yeah, these are all fake. This is someone named doing parody tweets. That's someone doing parody tweets. Let's see. Let's find Bob Woodward himself. See if Bob. Oh, he's not even. Is he even still on Twitter? He may not even tweet anymore. Anyway. If it was FTG Thursday, I would be saying FTG Bob Woodward. All right, let's get into the main event of today. Why I named the story, or the stream as I named it. And there's been a series of events in the Eliza Blue story that happened after the show yesterday that are fascinating. Okay? That are fascinating. And if you're tired of the Eliza Blue story, I'm sorry, but it is it's just because the fact that someone has so much power at Twitter that they can get things to happen so fast on their behalf that it reeks of old Twitter. And it's a lot of people are starting to already dump their Twitter Blue subscriptions because new boss is just like the old boss. And I don't know if it's because Elon Musk has a thing for this Miss Blue, Miss Nose, Miss Sipe, Miss Cuts, Miss whatever her dad's last name is. That should not matter. But we've already seen where Mr. Musk sometimes is quick to take down things that are disparaging towards himself. So somebody at Twitter is also helping this woman. So here's the latest. Right after the afternoon where I talked about this for a long time yesterday. Yes, Morthland, that's it. Yeah. And also, here's one thing that's funny. I've heard her say more than once that she was from Chicago. And this is kind of an Illinois thing that's maybe some just inside baseball stuff. But there's a whole lot of people who say they are from Chicago. Chicago Mike, by the way, I saw you here. Good morning, and you can attest to this. There's a whole lot of people who say they're from Chicago that they're not really from Chicago. Okay. Now, if you're in one of the first ring suburbs of Chicago and you say if you're from Chicago, it's because you're from the Chicagoland area and, whatever. Like if you're from Oak Lawn or, Evanston or something like that, one of those near suburbs. Okay. And I went north and south there for those of you who don't know either of those towns. You might say, yeah, I'm from Chicago, but you're really from a suburb of Chicago, or you're from, or if you're from let's say you're from like Schaumburg, which is like 5 suburbs deep outside of Chicago. Some people say they're from Schaumburg, but they'll say they're from Chicago just to make it easier. Yes, I'm from the Chicagoland area, which is a string of about 100 suburbs, right? Or seemingly it's 100. I don't know if it's 100 or not, but there's a whole bunch of them, right? But that's when you say, I'm from Chicagoland area. I'm from, whatever, right? But then you get to Eliza Moreland, Blue, Hopes, Dreams, whatever the name she's used at any time of the given day. And she said that she was from Chicago, but she's from a little town just out of Rock Island, Illinois. Now, Rock Island, Illinois is about an hour and a half from Chicago. We're talking like on the Iowa border. So, no, she's not from Chicago. But anyway, that's besides the point. Here's the first thing that when I came home yesterday afternoon, I looked at my Twitter feed and I saw this. Manuel DeFanco has now received a permanent banning from Twitter. I'm like, so this is the guy, and I might either have him. I've been in some Twitter spaces with him. He's a good dude, but he's the guy who originally came up. Let's see. Let me open a new tab in this one. He's the guy who dropped this thread on Twitter. Where the hell did it go? There it is. Oh, why isn't that? Oh, it's because it's over here. He's the guy who dropped this thread on Twitter that got this whole thing started again. Now, he's not the first person to do a long thread debunking some of the things about Eliza Blue, but this is the one that kind of got things rolling again, and where Brittany, Brittany, whatever her name is, decided to ask Eliza Blue about. Hey, there's some weird discrepancies about your trafficking days, or trafficked days, I should say. And I wanted to ask you about it. So she found the World Star Hip Hop video and put a screenshot, and that's what got her temporarily suspended from Twitter. So DeFango is now banned because he's the one who's doing he's been doing a lot of the recent legwork, even though there were several threads that were, that before him. But anyway, so I'm like, oh, so now someone at Twitter, probably Ella. We talked about Ella yesterday, who's the new head of trust and safety at Twitter, has permanently suspended Manuel DeFango. But now we also knew that the Quartering and Brittany Ventney were temporarily suspended, right? Because they would not take down the post that that had that screenshot, right? Well, Brittany Ventney's still not going to take it down. She's not going to say that she did something wrong. She's not take it down. Well, the Quartering, Jeremy from Wisconsin, I don't know why I just said he's from Wisconsin. He is from Wisconsin, though. He decided that, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take that down, and then I'm going to go scorched earth on Eliza Blue. So, Chicago Mike, thank you so much for sponsoring the show. You are the first sponsor today. Appreciate it. Dropping a big Hamilton in the tip jar, who says, for me, that's true. I'm from Naperville. I got the nickname when I was living in Tampa and was always wearing a Cubs cap. My friends started calling me Chicago Mike. There you go. See, Naperville, a nice, very nice suburb of what's a western suburb, right? Naperville's west. It's not north. It's kind of almost straight west, isn't it? I can't remember. I have some friends from I went to Drake University, and about 30% of Drake students were from the Chicagoland area, and they all said they're from Chicago. And I said, which suburb? Because almost no one's really from Chicago, although there's a few, but no one that was from school. They were all from Chicago suburbs. So anyway, thank you, Chicago Mike. Appreciate it. So back to so now this is a new. Now, here's the other part. So we talked about the Streisand effect, right? Streisand effect, and this came from when Barbara Streisand was mad because someone was putting pictures of her Malibu cliff overlooking the ocean at home on the internet, and she kept trying to get people to take it down. And the more she complained about it, the more photographers are out there. She had helicopters out there and all kinds of stuff taking pictures of her home because once she started complaining about it, other people began to notice, and you get it's the Streisand effect. Everyone's going to come see your house. And so Eliza Blue, by getting these people banned with these huge accounts, she started to get noticed more. So now the latest is someone at the Daily Beast has contacted her saying they're doing an article about it. Red State did an article about it. Now, what's interesting, and I think did I pull that down? Hang on, what happened to this? I didn't put these up here in order. That's the problem. Let's see. Let me find where I was at. So now Red State did an article. If you're familiar with Red State, they're kind of a conservative online publication. They did an article, and now the Red State article about this has been taken down. Now, this was not taken down by Red State or by Twitter, but yeah, it's a western suburb. I knew that. I know where Naperville is. I've been in Naperville. Now Red State has taken down their article. Now again, Twitter didn't do this. They took it down themselves, and in fact, they completely unpublished the article. So the author of the Red State article exposing Eliza Blue sounded off online, confirming that it has been unpublished. She does not go into this further, but this situation is beyond messed up. Now, I think so. This is the article that Red State took down. Okay. Now, I want to go through this because it's interesting, and I'm trying to figure out why they took it down. They've taken it completely off their website. You click the link, and it's gone, but fortunately, it is archived. So I want to go through this. Red State got threatened by her father I can almost put money on. Yes, well, he's a prominent politician in Illinois, sort of. He ran for governor, but you know, again, when I say he's a prominent politician, he's a Republican in Illinois, which means he has zero power or clout whatsoever because, you know, Illinois. But anyway, so here it is. Activist Blue cancels creators, appears to ramp up Twitter censorship. True. And it's an opinion by, who wrote this? Brittany Sheehan, who actually, she's the one I think who responded to this. Yep, brutal Brittany Sheehan. It was unpublished. I can't speak to it further because Red State's kind of I wouldn't say it's necessarily a blog, but they have a lot of contributors from a lot of different places. So anyway, so here's the article she wrote on the 27th, a few days ago. Twitter's in the middle of another censorship scandal that may be returning to the supposed free speech platform back to its Twitter version 1.0 roots of pre-Elon Musk era. This series of events comes in the heel of Steven Crowder versus the Daily Wire divide, where a contract offered to Crowder by the Daily Wire irrelevant. Anyway, here's where it goes in. Eliza Blue is a social media personality, an advocate for sex trafficking survivors. She is notably credited with working with Musk's team to improve the site functions by removing child exploitation material from the platform. Although that's not even true, because what she claimed to have done hadn't been done, and then when they did it, people noticed, hey, I thought you already did that. Nah, but anyway, let's see. 2 years ago this month, right after the lawsuit dropped on Timcast in real life, I'll return again this Friday to discuss the changes made with Twitter 2.0 under Elon Musk's leadership. Okay, so on January 20th, the Streisand effect was in full display when Blue addressed the provocative photo that was shared on YouTube. Content creator Brittany Ventney's Twitter account, along with a request for Blue to clarify some timelines about her past. Ventney is also an outspoken advocate for trafficking survivors. True. So that's when Eliza Blue put up this. I'm going to address this one time and one time only. A non-consensual photo was posted of me yesterday on Twitter. Photos have been removed. The source of the photo has also been contacted, and I'm prepared to escalate to the full extent of the law. They will be excluded from legal action. Good luck to you. I'm waiting for that legal action. I am. Again, Discovery's going to be a bitch. There won't be anyone else. There won't be anyone else involved. Spare. I take things all the way, and I have no chill. I'm a survivor advocate, and it does not stop with advocating for myself with a survivor. Well, as we learned, we're not so sure what you've survived, honey. But, you know, One Rebel, what's up? Welcome to the chat over on Rumble. Nice to see you. So anyway, and then the Twitter community notes has been added, additional context between Blue's tweet. What's interesting, too, I think, let's see, is that still up? I want to see if that's, let me see something. Oh, apparently the link. Oh, you know what? This is, I don't know if that original tweet's there. Let me see. Hang on a second. I think they took that the note off of that tweet. Let me see. Let me go into, I got a whole file in this girl. Let's try this. Oh no, that's a different one. That's a whole different story. Anyway, I think they've removed the community note from that says this is bullshit because this was a picture taken from whatnot. Or no, they removed the link to it. Anyway, so the article continues. The photos in question was a screenshot that came from a video posted by Worldstar Hip Hop in a series called Eye Candy. The video has been hosted on YouTube since February 19, 2016 for nearly 7 years prior to Blue's claims that it was non-consensual and has since been removed under a third-party rights claim. Additionally, if you were to click the link to the original video from Twitter's platform, a warning pops up saying the link may be unsafe. So far, this is all 100% factual. So we're trying to figure out why this Red State article came down. We don't know, other than it tells the complete as much story as it can. At the time, Blue's internet persona was Eliza Knows, and she has used other alters, including Eliza Cuts and Eliza Sipe, a name she used during her American Idol contestant days. Morthland appears to be Eliza's true surname, and her father is a Republican representative in Illinois. Now that, someone who said her father asked this to be taken down, it's possible. It's possible that her father asked to have this taken down. Currently, several creators, including Brittany Venti, The Quartering, Yellow Flash Guy, and Camelot 331 have been locked out of their accounts, sparking hashtags of Free Brittany Venti and others. Now, this list has gotten much, much longer. And most of them have been people who are locked out of their accounts. However, as we know, Manuel DeFango has now been permanently banned. Now, permanently in Twitter lingo is not necessarily permanently, but we'll see. But it's interesting because all he has been posting is things he's found on the internet. I think the Jack Murphy comparisons are off the mark. This is more akin to Taylor Lorenz's behavior. Yeah, this simple. Jack Murphy didn't go scorched earth as badly as this woman is. Or at least, I don't even know if she's the one doing it, but certainly someone at Twitter is doing it on her behalf. It's crazy. And I think it's, what's her name? Ella something. I'll remember in a minute. So anyway, DeFango told Reds. DeFango got interviewed for this. We hung out quite a bit up to 2009, so he knew her personally. Now, DeFango's thread was posted on December 26, 2022, and has 708,000 views to date, and was created in the wake of Blue blocking DeFango, as she has reportedly done to many users who ask questions. So then they go show some of his thread. Meanwhile, the journalist for the Post Millennial, Andy No, is taking the side of the locked out creator. So several other people are taking sides of the Quartering, Brittany Venti, etc. All the people. So a bunch of people. Another user reported that they were told to remove 20 tweets to regain access to their account. In the comments, a user tags Irwin, noting that no reason was offered for what rules had been broken. That's Ella Irwin, I believe. Ella Irwin, yeah, the current head of trust and safety. So they've been asking her, what rules did they break? And they're not answering. They're just saying you have to take these down. So apparently, it seems as though, and I'm foreshadowing here, they might be writing rules just specifically for this particular situation. So Twitter first notes that Blue and Irwin follow each other on the platform. Both Irwin and Blue were hosts of a Twitter Space events that included Musk on December 10th. Seems clear that Irwin has personally engaged in the Blue matter, having given several explanations for the widespread censorship and user shout-outs. Blue called it a non-consensual photo, but it's hard to believe that a World Star Hip Hop eye candy shoot didn't include a photo release. Yes, and World Star Hip Hop, as said, there was a contract. She got paid for it. I got a feeling. Again, here's my feeling: is World Star Hip Hop's going to take some legal action, possibly claiming defamation. So anyway, which is amazing. World Star Hip Hop, World Star is going to do a defamation suit. Amazing. So, but they did remove the video after hosting for 7 years, saying there was a third-party rights claim. Twitter's Irwin says there was legal notice of unauthorized media. Interesting. So here's someone, Jesus Garcia says that makes sense. We are talking about the person who is head of trust department for Twitter, and she has been on Twitter Spaces with Eliza, so clearly she has some bias because of that. Well, Eliza's also name dropped her more than once in the last couple weeks too. Now, while the legal rights battle is teeing up and the platforms comply with thinly veiled and easily debunked claims, it's so clearly consensual. Video shoots still frame as fair use. Photo releases were more than likely required for the original publishing. Nobody is supposed to find any irony in Blue's and Twitter's continued free speech claims, which we're finding out maybe not so free on Twitter. Now, really, just days before she had creators targeted over seemingly fair use content, Blue says free speech is the hill she will die on. Right here, I want to be crystal clear. I die on the hill of free speech in America. The government cannot remove it. The WEF cannot remove it. Free speech is an inalienable human right with or without both the government or the WEF. Well, maybe not with Twitter, babe. So people are savaging her over that. Ella Irwin is just a current Joel Roth. Changed my mind. Oh, Mike. Well, I feel you, brother. Let's see. Blue noted that Twitter's immediate action, removing the media content, would result in sparing them for her planned legal action. Now, is she planning legal action against the videographer, Gabriel Hart, a.k.a. Video Plus God, or just some Twitter accounts that asked her to explain parts of her story? Is she suing World Star Hip Hop 7 years later with claims of non-consensual images? I doubt it. In fact, Blue is on video talking about how happy she was about the World Star video, calling it a piece of the puzzle. In fact, is this, can I click this here? Maybe? We'll see. Let's see.
I'm really happy that the World Star video got released. That was good piece to the puzzle. In store, for me right now, I'm trying to get back to basics of like why I started doing everything. And what I'm doing,
and why she's still wearing that weird makeup on to cover up her nose job. I don't know.
Right now is I'm working on a project that's really like social media heavy. I want to have it. It's really hard to explain because it's basically, let's put it this way. I'm getting back to more of the art and why I started. Like doing everything. Like
trying to get famous.
If it's not going to trip my trigger and give me like a fire in my belly, I'm not going to do it. Put it that way. So I'm not doing like endless photo shoots for BS. Like I'm not doing.
So
all
this
that
was 6 years ago,
like,
before she
really
started talking
like.
about the trafficking stuff.
About it. I'm literally just going for stuff that I really, really enjoy and really like. I'm not doing any BS.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. Not saying what I was doing.
No, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense, Eliza. Sorry, it doesn't. Anyway, infamously, Blue doesn't even go after her alleged sex trafficker, posting in 2020 that this person still follows her on social media and messages her. Why doesn't she block this person? I mean, if this is such a traumatic thing and how many people allow their trafficker, the person who's supposedly put her through this trauma, allow them to follow them? I would be blocking this motherfucker. Maybe. Anybody? Bueller? Anybody know? So far, the only thing, and again, in this article, this is the article that Red State took down. So far, everything is factual, except, well, maybe just the part about her father. Her father got mentioned in it. Maybe you're right, whoever said that her father asked them to take it down. But why would they take the whole thing down? Why would they just not take that section out? Interesting. But yeah, so this person still follows her on social media and messages her. So no restraining order then? Just a quip and a fingernail polish emoji? Good enough? Okay, here it is. My former trafficker still follows me on social media and messages me. I have a message for you. Kiss my whole ass with the fingernail polish. The fact that Blue targets content creators with threats of litigation, but not the videographer or World Star Hip Hop, and appears to weaponize social media oligarchy while merely tweeting at her alleged sex trafficker to kiss her ass with an emoji is quite selective outrage. She calls the creators her enemies, who are forced to remove content that isn't as illegal as it is unbecoming, including what would be considered a meme. Posting any image of Blue with a beard is the latest alleged internet crime. Yeah, so they've been putting that meme of her with the Jack Murphy beard, and apparently some of those accounts are getting reprimanded, I guess. I don't know. DeFago tells Red State that he was also locked out before removing links to 2 podcast appearances that had the bearded Eliza Murphy thumbnail, a reference to the canceled influencer, the bearded Jack Murphy. DeFago adds that he will accept a lawsuit via email, telling Red State he would rather not have strange people showing up at his house. Also, Eliza can serve me via email. Oh, he wants the lawsuit. He says, bring it on. Bring it on. Because what's the, okay, can anybody of you in the chat or whatever fathom what possible lawsuit could she bring, or could she be thinking of bringing? Now, the only one I could think of is possibly, and not that it's a valid lawsuit, but claiming some sort of defamation or whatever. But the problem with that is the receipts are all there. There's facts that you cannot deny. And so even on the photo, the unauthorized use, you signed a release and got paid for that video. So if someone takes a picture out of it, just a still shot, and asks you a question, that's not unauthorized use. And in fact, you don't even own the rights to it. Who are you going to sue? And sue for what? I just don't get it. Burn Baby Bird, leftist and well, the problem, okay, Anna Lynn, hi, good morning, by the way. This isn't a leftist or rightist thing. In fact, Eliza Blue kind of runs out more in the right circles. Okay? And I don't mean correct circles. I mean, she is much more known and has got notoriety among people on the right, or right-ish. You know, she's been on Rubin, she's been on Pool, she's been on Hoteps, she's been, you know, most of her interactions are with people more on the right, and now all of a sudden people on the right are like, what the hell? By the way, hit the like button, share, stream, and all that stuff, because you guys sponsor the show, and you can sponsor the show with dollars at pdognight.live. Speaking of which, oh my gosh, what timing that was. Thank you, Tyre Alexander. Dropping a small bullet in the tip jar, and we'll just play a little of this Middle Eastern music to enhance this. Tyre Alexander with a small bullet in the tip jar says, I am starting to believe that Eliza is a lying, grifting thought. Not thought, but thought. As in that over there. She is behaving not like a victim. I would call her story Swiss cheese. But Swiss cheese adds more to society than this trick. If she was horrifying, if she was horrifying, Cam Girls Exist, she gets a special FTG. Yes, Tyre, in honor of your special notation there, FTG, Eliza Blue. Oh, wait, it's BLEU. Nose, sipe, cuts, and Morthland. There we go. There you go. FTG, Eliza Blue. Thank you, Tyre Alexander. I appreciate you. And you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, sir. All right. Let's see. So that's the Red State article that I taken down. Can anybody tell me why they took that article down? You know what? I think somebody might be right. But because it was taken off of Twitter. It was the tweets were deleted. The article was taken off their site. Now, fortunately, there is this this archived version of it, which I will have in the chat. But you know, it's kind of wild. It's that happened. So now, here's. Oh, that umbrella guy also points out. Now, if you're familiar with Tug, he was pretty prominent during the Amber Heard trial. He says Eliza Blue's father, a politician, reportedly offers a reporter an off-the-record discussion. So, if they take their article down, is Damian Moore from Red State? No, American Crime Journal. Okay, this is interesting. Elon Musk, Twitter, the Republican Party. This is getting to be to ignore. I don't know. It's getting too big to ignore. So he says, yes, her father finally responded to our inquiries and wants an off-the-record discussion. Only if my article comes down, neither you or her are in a position to negotiate. So I'm not really sure. Let's see if we can find this Damian Moore here. Let's just, Damian, let's see, D at DD, what is it, DLL? DDL Moore. Let's go DD. Oops, it's on Twitter though. Let's see. Give me a moment. I forgot to look for this one. At DDL Moore. Okay. Oh, this guy's been talking about her a lot too. So here's one of his tweets. Those saying the Eliza Blue situation is about censorship / free speech. Who cares about her past? You, like those banned by Twitter, were sold a false bill of goods by Musk. Sorry, but that's all it is. Morthland silenced and bullied the weak, those without a platform or voice. Interesting. But I want to go through his... We face this with Coco Berthan. Only the people who gave Eliza money can press charges. Right now, my investigation is where did the funds she received go? She peddled her Cash App and Venmo online for specific stated purposes. If those funds were misappropriated, then it's fraud. Now, he's with something called American Crime Journal, and he's a journalist. So this is getting kind of deep here. This is the article that they were asked to take down. Yes, it's confusing that Red State article on Eliza came down, but DDL Moore article is still up, and it's a banger. Well, should we go through this one too? I can skip the other stuff today. This is all right. Here's his article. Let me check. I'm going to finish one more thing here. And this is where he said, yes, her father finally responded to our inquiries, wants off the record discussion. If my uncle article comes down, neither you or her are in a position to negotiate. You can't save her. Her wealthy daddy. Oh, this is somebody else. I've identified a network of sock. Oh, this is good. Now they're pulling a Christopher Boozy saying, oh, well, these are a bunch of sock puppet accounts and bots who are attacking Eliza Blue. I've identified a network of sock puppet accounts being used to artificially inflate attacks against human trafficking victim and human rights activist Eliza Blue, with a concentrated host in the U.S. who was attempting to mask their location. We'll post data later this week. Good luck, buddy. And he responds, she's scared. You can't save her. Her wealthy daddy couldn't. There is no network. She's a fraud. No matter how much you try to create a diversion, dog whistle and gaslight or attempt damage control, it will not change the fact that you got played. Oh, wait a minute. Could it be... where is it? I haven't. Here it is.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Not the fact that you got played by a pathological liar. So, wow. So anyway, let's check out the American. I've not seen this one. I haven't read this one. Let's check out this one. Eliza Lies. That could be a new name. Or Eliza Heard. Will the real Eliza please stand up? Model, groupie, singer, actress, cosmetologist, stripper, sex worker, advocate, Yang Gang loyalist, devout Trumpist, sex trafficking victim, turned advocate and expert. All in a day's work. Editor's note. While it was never our intent for Eliza Blue, a.k.a. Eliza Morthland, to be our debut report of Damian Moore's collateral damage, the anti-human trafficking industrial complex. Ooh, that's interesting. We do believe she encompasses everything wrong with the anti-human trafficking industry and America's perception of human trafficking. What we do wish to make clear is that our Eliza Morthland report will not chronologically be the start nor focus of this living investigative series. And then 126, both Eliza Morthland and Richard Morthland refused to participate or provide commentary for the story. Interesting. Now this, oh my goodness, this goes deep into it. Oh, okay, it's pretty long here. Okay, well, let's check this out. She's a cum sock puppet. Aaron, you win the day. Yes, that's terrible. Okay, let's see. My Chemical Romance groupie known for his delusions of grandeur, Eliza Sipe shot to fame with the My Chemical Romance community after claiming she'd once been engaged to the band's lead singer, Gerard Way, even going so far as to write a creepy yet popular Roman Clef, a.k.a. fan fiction, about their disturbing relationship. The only problem is, it just simply wasn't true. Not long after she emerged as a celebrity fashion designer and cosmetologist, Eliza cuts. The only problem? It simply wasn't true. Then came Eliza Knows, a stripper and warrior princess for all sex workers. She was an in-demand advocate and speaker by day, but by night she was the industry's dirty dancer that music executives and chart-topping rappers loved, but more importantly needed to push their videos over the edge. Ah, yes, a shining beacon of conservative principles, a true patriot and example of American exceptionalism, our manifest destiny. Wow, I want to get this guy on. But once again, the only problem is, it simply wasn't true. Yet here she is, once again, Eliza Blue. Don't say it. Don't say it. She needed the money. No, just kidding. Okay. Eliza Blue. Where was I? Staying true to the Eliza brand, this time a cheap grifter and professional victim. This time, what she's doing is dangerous. Not only is she misleading the public about who she is, but she has not the slightest clue about what human trafficking is. And that is true. It's shameful, and shame on those promoting and defending this fraud. Well, look, a lot of people who've had her on and whatnot are all beginning to see the light. Even Tim Pool laughed about how maybe she should win a grifty. I mean, he made the joke, so he must be seeing this, although he ain't commenting on it. And I know my friends, the Hoteps, are kind of staying away from it too, but it's cool. It's everyone who wants to talk about this is talking about it. People who don't want to talk about it are not talking about it. I don't have a problem with that. They certainly have promoted. Yesterday, they made a note, at least the Grifties Twitter handle made a note of who's leading the Grifties right now, and Eliza Blue's number one for 2023. The public is already misinformed. Worse, her own definition of human trafficking exposes her to nothing more than as a privileged child taking all of the spotlight. Sadly, she has aligned herself with Elon Musk's Twitter, misleading and lying to the public on the world's biggest stage, providing cover for her corporate masters so they can pretend they are combating child pornography as it explodes on Twitter. Now, interesting that this was written before some action really took place that Eliza claimed had already taken place. But they have finally actually done something, which is not good for Eliza's timeline. Let's put it that way. Eliza Morthland and Elon Musk's Twitter has done irreparable damage to the fight against child sex abuse and exploitation. They made human trafficking a punchline. And that's where I am having the problem here. Had she just fessed up and said, yes, that was me, I want it, but I really am passionate about this. You know, the funny thing, whenever I see her, like I've seen videos of her at events and she's talking about, you know, she goes to these events and does speaking engagements and even on the times when she goes on to people's podcasts and, you know, YouTube live streams and whatnot, she really doesn't like to talk about the actual subject. She likes to talk about herself. And you'll notice, and you know, even when she was on with, because the first time I saw her was when she was on with Hotep Jesus, although I'd already heard of her. And she really didn't want to talk about it. She didn't want to talk about her experience. She didn't want to talk about her life. She didn't want to talk about how she got out of it. She just wanted to talk about other stuff and be in the, you know, bask in the limelight of being interviewed again. At least that was the impression I got. But I still thought, you know, the cause that she's trying to promote, you know, being an advocate for trafficking survivors. I thought it's such a noble cause. You want it to be true. And you don't want her to be this grifting nightmare. But the more that this stuff goes on, the deeper people keep digging. It's just like, oh my God, this woman, again, like you said, it's setting back it's making human trafficking, the quote unquote human trafficking, a punchline. And then he goes on, Eliza, America's Nigerian princess. Hey, easy, buddy. Let's from someone who is, or well, I should say was, because my father's passed away, a Nigerian prince. Well, technically, I guess I still am. Anyway, but I know what he means, the 419 scams. In November 2021, American Crime Journal initiated a preliminary investigation into self-proclaimed humanist and sex trafficking advocate and trafficking expert known as Eliza Blue. This came following Lynn Packer's reports on ACJ's exposing Coco Berthman and Elizabeth Frazier as human trafficking victim advocate frauds. Now I want to go and look into those stories. I hadn't heard about those stories. Suggestions poured in, with an overwhelming majority asking for us to vet Eliza Blue. Despite not being our intent nor mission to vet individuals claiming to be sex trafficking victims, the investigation was launched due to the overwhelming interest from our audience and survivors. Yeah, and a lot of survivors. I've been going to some of these Twitter spaces where people are talking about this, and there are people who are, who got out of that, who are very upset with this person. And there are people who've reached out to her that she's never given them the time of day. And again, it's because she's so busy self-promoting. The investigation was launched due to the overwhelming interest from our audience and survivors. However, within just a few hours, it was clear Eliza Blue had severe credibility issues. The investigation was terminated. The reason was simple. Eliza Morthland lied so much, you could find them with a simple Google search. Even when a celebrity lies, for example, Paula Abdul's claim that she was in a plane crash, this still takes a significant amount of time getting details of what she exactly said on the record, off the record, then speaking with witnesses and finding their statements, getting flight numbers and learning how it's documented, etc. This alone could take dozens of hours. And she's a celebrity, not Eliza. It took just 15 minutes, kind of like fame in our eyes. There was nothing of value or substance to provide. It was open and shut, just that simple. How wrong were we? How wrong was I? And I must apologize. I didn't realize how big she'd become. Approximately 6 months later, two well-known journalists had approached both Lynn Packer and I, asking if we were familiar with the self-proclaimed humanist and sex trafficking survivor turned advocate and expert Eliza Blue. I suspect they thought that if ACJ investigated and published an expose, they had their legal out by simply citing us and using our evidence free from liability in the eyes of the corporate media executive. That is exactly what happened with Berthman after all. We respectfully declined not long after. During an interview about Coco Berthman with a producer looking to cover her fraud and deceit, Eliza Blue's name was brought up again. He said to me, "You really should check into her." Her dear friend brought up Eliza Blue yet again, or then a dear friend brought up Eliza Blue again, which by now, more familiar than a name, this on top of dozens of emails, including a few from several popular podcasters who were not sure how to handle what by now had internally labeled the Eliza Blue situation. She has her own syndrome called the Eliza Blue situation. Holy shit. You know what? I'm not this thing's so long. And I'm almost out of time, but I really want to get into this. Maybe this is one of those days where I may have to come back. So even though, here's how bad it is, though. So, and I'm going to skip down just a couple different key lines in this article. This headline, Eliza Blue denies that she is Eliza Morthland and denies her MAGA father who supports her. On June 20th, 2021, Carrie Krukel tweeted in a thread by Eliza Blue. This woman's father is a MAGA candidate for Illinois Governor Richard Northland. This constant positive stroking of Putin is idiotic. If you think this will advance the anti-human trafficking cause, you haven't studied a lick of the world history or human rights violations. To which Eliza replied directly, no one in my family is running for governor. No one in my family or extended family has run for governor. My pronouns are they, them. So you violated Twitter terms of service with this tweet, and my tweet was factual per Reuters. Once again, giving Eliza Blue the opportunity to clear up any misconceptions and or put to rest any rumors or just to be honest about who she is, Carrie Kirkle asked her, is this you or no? Either way, I do agree with your constant stroke. I do agree with your constant stoking of Putin. I don't even know what that means. But this is a picture of her with her dad, Northland. And she says, no, that's not me. I think you might have me confused with someone else. I'll continue to tweet how I want to, and you can tweet how you want to. I'll block you so you don't have to see my tweets. This is her with her dad, Richard Northland, the politician from Rock Island area, Illinois. It's a smaller town, but I'll just say Rock Island because it's probably don't even know that either. So then, and then they have Richard Northland is a man that's only known privilege, coming from one of the wealthiest families in Rock Island County, not Chicago. He inherited the Northland family farm, a state-of-the-art facility sitting on 400 acres in Cordova, a small town outside of what's colloquially known as the Quad Cities. He worked for an associate adjunct professor of speech communications at Blackhawk College, Scott Community, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he's a Republican member of the Rock Island County Board, and he did, I believe, run for governor not that long ago. But there it is. There's Eliza in the picture with dad, her sister, mom. I mean, it's like, and then again, the American Idol stuff's in this article. Her being in a band, all this other stuff. It's here. The thing is, okay, she said she was trafficked when she was 15, too. And I don't know how old she is in this picture with dad. But was she being trafficked at the time? Holy shit. Anyway. So I spent way, way more time in this than I intended to today, but the story just gets juicier and juicier. I think I will do a short stream this afternoon because I want to get into what the quartering talked about now that he's back on Twitter. He went scorched earth on this whole situation. And if you do want to see the articles that I intended to do, because as far as timely, a couple of outlets are talking about the situation in Memphis. One of them is both the Federalist and the Daily Wire. Excuse me, that's not the article. Where's the Daily Wire? And PJ Media have articles up regarding these 5 officers and how, because of the Black Lives Matter movement. Why are these not in order? Oh, here we are. How these officers in Tyre Nichols' deaths were hired after Memphis Police Department lowered their recruiting standards. Now, that part of that's due, to the turmoil in 2020 over Black Lives Matter. So a couple of these officers were new. I guess my bigger question, regardless if they lowered the recruiting standards, if they lowered the recruiting standards, did they also lower their training standards? Because a lot of the Black Lives movement focused on better training of police officers. So what did they do? If they were going to lower their standards, did they improve their training standards? Also, this so-called Scorpion Patrol or the Scorpion Squad that Memphis had that was specific to work in areas of high violence. Why would 2 officers, probably who haven't been on the force that long, be part of a Scorpion Squad of that type of nature? You would think that if they were having a squad that was specifically for higher crime areas, they would be the best trained officers. So again, I look back to this police chief that has been out doing interviews and shit, and I'd be looking at her and going, hey, you disbanded the Scorpion squad of supposedly elite officers. Why is there newer officers on that squad who aren't trained and would do something like this? So I look back to the police chief, police commissioner, whoever. But anyway, there's articles both in the Federalist and PJ Media talking about this. Whether they lower their standards or not, they needed to raise their standards on training, and clearly they did not. Also, the U.S. Surgeon General is warning that 13 years old is too young to join social media. Are they going to try to make a law, or are they just going to say, parents, that's your responsibility? It's an interesting story, but whatever. Also in the tabs today, the Biden administration funnels another $1.6 million to a Beijing-backed green energy company over the Senate's objections. LanzaTech has raked in $12 million in taxpayer funds and inking a deal with China-run energy group Sinopec. So they sent another $1.6 million to Beijing, a Beijing company. The Energy Department announced the 7-figure award to LanzaTech, a carbon capture company that in April 2021 inked a partnership with Sinopec Capital, the clean energy investment arm of the Chinese state-owned oil conglomerate. This is not the first time the department has showered LanzaTech with taxpayer cash. The company received more than $10 million in grant payments in the months after it partnered with China.
China is asshole.
The Washington Free Beacon reported in December. Now, the Senate didn't want this money to go to this company, but somehow Biden's doing it anyway. Also, carbon capture? Really? I'm curious what kind of tech that carbon capture is actually doing, what it's actually doing for the world. Are we saving the planet with this shit? I don't know. And then finally, whale corpses are stacking up, but that's something that the people don't want to talk about, what might be killing them. The green energy people. In New Jersey, this is the article. I was recently in New Jersey. I'll finish with this one, by the way. There's also another, those are the Eliza Blue articles. I'll finish with this one today. By Kevin Downey Jr. at PJ Media. He says, I was recently in New Jersey enjoying a Chick-fil-A sandwich, sucking a cup of diet soda pop through a detestable plastic straw, and reading about the 10th dead whale to wash up on Long Island or New Jersey shore when I was blasted with a 50,000-watt bolt of liberal irony. The pink-haired dime museums on the left canceled plastic straws when one was found in the nose of a living sea turtle, but they haven't made a peep about the erasure of whales. Perhaps the turtle accidentally inhaled the straw, or maybe the straw was purposely put there by a turtle itself after a raucous night with another turtle. Oh, the U.S. Coast Guard found a turtle with $53 million worth of cocaine strapped to it. Wow, that's awesome. Anyway, either way, the left pooped their non-binary panties and decided straws had to go. The straw crusaders hit the streets with straw, and straw justice was done. Major companies and several states like New Jersey banned the dreaded turtle-killing, annoying plastic straws that forced the decomposable and foul-tasting paper slurpers on us. Now, through all this hoopla, one live turtle with one straw in its schnoz, yet the turtle huggers don't seem to care that 10 dead whales have washed up, some on New Jersey beaches and some on Long Island, New York. Another was spotted by a ship off the Jersey coast. Now, why are whales dying in record numbers? And just as importantly, why are the deodorant dodging hippies not talking about the whale-acost? Why haven't they banned something to save the whales? Do turtles have a better publicist? Now, a whale washed up near the southern Jersey town of Brigantine. Anyone from New Jersey know how that's pronounced? Brigantine? Near where geotechnical surveying of wind farm leases has been taking place. In fact, a lot of dead whales have washed up suspiciously close to the site of future windmill farms in both New Jersey and New York. But windmills are going to save the planet, right? The lefty nature harpies took to the streets to ban straws, but don't seem to want to discuss the very real likelihood that the vibrations from the windmill industrial complex are killing humpbacks. The Communist News Network, this is CNN, was quick to dispel the notion that their beloved wind turbines, or rather the sonar used to help build their fields, was causing the carnage. They even went so far as to suggest that, what? You guessed it, climate change and warming oceans are bringing the whales into shipping lanes where they are slaughtered like groundhogs on the highway. Groundhogs? We don't have... Oh, this is the East Coast. Yeah, there's more groundhogs out there. We kill deer and turkeys and shit, but groundhogs. Okay. As PJ Media's own Lincoln Brown pointed out in the above article, the whales have found friends in the Republican Party. Representative Jeff Van Drew... What? Wait, what? Republicans love whales? I didn't know that. Republican Jeff Van Drew wants the surveying stopped until we know whether or not it is the cause of the current whalicide. I grabbed this from Lincoln's report. Megan Lapp of Seafreeze Fishery told Tucker Carlson, I can accurately say that all of the whales that are washing up are because of the offshore wind farms. I can't. She said I can't. Never mind. But what I can tell you is that the 7 whales that washed up off of New Jersey in the past month have all washed up during these intense geotechnical surveying of wind farm leases off of New Jersey. On the East Coast, there has been an unusual mortality event for humpback whales from 2016 until now. The only thing that has changed in the ocean in that time is the fact that there have been offshore wind surveys occurring from 2015 until now. Now, magically, there's a bunch of humpback whales dying. Well, that's not good. I would think 10 dead whales washing up in close proximity with another spotted by a passing ship would have the hirsute dirt worshippers in berserk mode. But all I hear are crickets. And it seems the Enviro-doomed cheerleaders are obediently quiet when it comes to the possibility that their beloved wind farm technology is killing the biggest mammals on the planet along the shores of New Jersey and New York. And that's how it ends. Just like that's like the ending of a Styx Hexahammer video. Just all of a sudden it's over. That was the end of the article. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we need to save the whales. Fuck those wind farms because they are worthless anyway. Anyway, I gotta go. Thanks for being here today. I see Now What in the chat. Good morning, Gwen. Nice to see you. And AWOL. I don't know if I said hi yet, but there we go. So anyway, I gotta go. Thanks everybody. My name's Dawg Knight. I was gonna go just boom out of here like Styx. And that's all. Peace out. No, that's not it. Anyway, I'm Dawg Knight. I gotta go. I'm out of here. Bye. Have a great day. Love you. See you later. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.